Hello?
Yeah, buddy. All right,
Here?
let's load up that there Twitch.tv. Man, I need to get the camera that you have, man. Honestly, you just need a haircut. Well, let's open up stream labels. Let's tweet it out and everything, dude. Let's get it going.
Podcast. What is it, number 19?
Yes, buddy.
That's fine.
I'm gonna announce who our guest is gonna be next week as well.
What is it?
By the way, you want to just say it?
Nah.
Well, announce it at
Type
the
it.
end. Well, announce it at the end. All
Oh,
right,
wow. It's a
boys.
surprise to me.
Yeah, dude. But you're down with it because it was your idea initially. But I just confirmed it for next week. It's a good guest. Did you see it?
Um, Look right now. Okay. Perfect, perfect.
So Twitch decided to change its goddamn dashboard, and it's pissing me off, dude. No option to keep the other one. I'm committed to this dashboard, so I can't even see like how do I even see how many people are in the stream? Oh, it's at the top. This is some bullshit. It has a little dash. I don't like change, dude. Do you like change?
No.
You don't?
No,
I
I
don't like
don't.
change at
It takes
all.
me a long time to like accept the change. Like
Yeah,
when Twitter changed, like for the 17th time, I was like, I finally found one I fucked with.
yeah,
Then they just changed it over and over to a point where it's not even the same.
dude. That's what
Just
I'm
have to
saying, dude.
accept it.
Yeah, yeah.
I wish that
Sometimes
they
they
I
think
wish that
something's
the
for the
changes weren't
better.
forced upon you.
Yeah, right. Like
Like you could
options.
stay with whatever version you wanted, but you could always go to the newest one.
Mm-hmm.
They
We're
forced the
just gonna
change
let
on you.
we're just gonna let some people load in here, guys. Welcome
Back
to
from
the
a
stream.
2 week break. This is
A
our we
nice
one
two
week
week
break.
break too, man.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Hopefully, that's understandable, right?
yeah. We took a week break for Thanksgiving. I went home, and we may have been able to squeeze in like an audio only podcast, but you guys need to spend time with your family. So, how was our Thanksgiving? Well, I'll ask John. How was yours? How was your Thanksgiving?
Mine was fantastic. Some good food,
Mm-hmm.
good times, good good everything. I can't complain. Thanksgiving was great.
Yeah, I had
Now
to
it's on to
cook
the
the whole
big
dinner,
boy.
man.
Christmas coming up.
Whoa, Christmas is the dagger, dude.
Yeah, I used to get stuff. I don't get stuff anymore. I guess I'm too old.
Yeah, are we at that age we don't get anything?
Yeah, I just give.
Just give.
Christmas is just basically taxes again.
Yeah, it really is. Are you like when you give gifts, are you like the caring gift giver or are you just
Fuck
want it to be
no.
easy, right? Just like
I ask
easy.
them what they want, and then I go there and buy it
Do you
quick.
wait, you go there and buy it or do you
Or like
order?
if I can't Amazon it, I go there and buy it,
Yeah.
and I just like that's it.
Well, with
Dude, I don't. I
Amazon
swear
and
to God,
ordering,
I
it's
don't
become
even know
so
how to
easy.
wrap gifts. Like some people's gifts wrapping is like immaculate, bro. I I don't know. That's something I'm gonna have to learn if I have
There was some
kids.
Twitter life hacks today on wrapping gifts, like if it doesn't fit, and I was like, "Oh, I'm saving that one, dude." I'm not wrapping gifts, man. What?
If it doesn't fit in like one of those bags,
Yeah,
or like it's a wrap.
yeah.
I'll just go grab it and give it to you.
Yeah, just give me like one of those little bags and like put the like paper in it. It's the
Yeah.
laziest shit ever. For me, dude, I'm just gonna buy gifts off Amazon or whatever website I use and like select the option 4.99 so it comes pre-wrapped. And
Ooh, I
like,
like that.
yeah, like I'm not.
Extra tax though. Depends on how many gifts you have to get.
Man, how many you have to give out for Christmas?
Well, I really just have to get it for my little brother, my dad, and my mom. Everyone else is extra.
You know what's crazy at the age that we're at? Like we don't get gifts, but then we have to give it to the older people and the younger people.
Yeah, what?
That's some bullshit, man.
Also, my little brother has his own money, but he only asks me for stuff that he won't justify himself buying. Like shit you don't need. Let me get
Yeah.
a 244 hertz monitor. For what? You don't need that. It costs like 600 bucks.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some people in here now, man. Well, think about that, dude. At the end of the episode, I'm gonna ask you guys for some Christmas gifts. Yeah, John did shave, dude. He has the clean baby face now, man. I kind of fuck with it though, dude. Chat one's in the chat if you should keep this. Two is if she should get the goatee back. Dude, you know you look way younger, right?
What, when I shave?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care about how old I look.
I'm
I don't know where I
cooking
was going with
turkey
that.
burgers right now. Want any
Ken's a
of it?
weirdo, bro.
Turkey burgers are good, man, but I found out that I couldn't eat them consistently, bro. So I stopped making them. I just ground the turkey up, eat it like tacos. Oh, so they're saying you should get the goatee back, dude.
Um,
Nah, you need to keep it like this.
I'm gonna
Crim 6 with the tier 1. Much love, brother.
Rim. That was
Wait,
me.
5 emotes shared. What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. That's
What
some new
is
Twitch
Twitch
shit.
looking
Worry
at,
about
man?
that. Worry about that later.
All right, well, let's start the show, dude. All right,
All
so
right.
guys, it's been like 2 weeks, and there's been a lot of stuff that's happened, like, but not like a lot of super important stuff. But there's some things that we want to talk about right off the bat. We'll get into season 1 and stuff like that a little bit later on. But last episode, we were talking a little bit about the Mutineers and what they were waiting for. Well, they finally announced their team. All right, I'll pull it up on the screen for you guys. And I don't think it's a secret. Like, we all kind of knew what it was going to be. The wait is over. The Mutineers are here. Fear the Deep. First of all, thoughts on that hashtag?
Fear the Deep is a what? Come on, man.
Is it?
I get it. Like you're supposed to make your name kind of like relevant to whatever your nickname is. Come on, son. Playing Call of Duty.
Have you watched?
They're not battling naval warships in the middle of the ocean. The hashtag sucks. And their Davy Jones locker
logo
is
oh,
terrible.
Man, I don't.
It's just all
like
bad.
It, man. Yeah.
It's just all bad, man.
The best thing they did was build a solid roster. I'd say, like they did decent.
Yeah. None of this has anything to do with the players.
Yeah.
But like, wow, Mutineers bad name.
Fear the Deep might
Fear
be
the
the
Deep
worst hashtag
bad
I've seen.
hashtag.
Yeah.
And this video
Let's play
is
this.
the worst video.
This
of
is
all
by
time.
far the worst video. I was waiting for you to say that. Look at this shit.
This is the
Dude,
worst video
I was thinking with all that time, they
ever.
had to come out with some fire. And I get Pristini lean with it, rock with it, in the background dancing. And then the next guy's just stone cold staring at the screen. All I see are their eyeballs, dude. Come on, man.
Yo, is so bad. I dropped the goat. Now he wants to play.
I was trained
There's
by
no,
the
did
best.
Frosty actually say that?
Who are
I
you
have to ask
trained-
Frosty
who are you
myself.
trained by?
No chance. Frosty said that.
Rivals.
No chance he said that. They're my idols to my right. There's no way you're calling these guys your idols.
For those of you that
You're
are-
literally just playing with them.
For those of you that are audio listening to this on Spotify, iTunes, make sure you go to Mutineer's Twitter and check out this video. It's absurd. Why is he praying?
This whole video made me pissed. And you know what? They're not the only team to make a really shitty
No, this is the
video.
worst.
Now, that's the problem is I don't even know if it's the worst. Because like London was
it
pretty shitty. Even New York's, like they did it in their rooms. It was pretty shitty. But theirs was also done like
Oh man, they had so much time.
over a month ago. I thought they were gonna come with some Scorsese
What is he doing?
jumping out of airplanes, skydiving video.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we took so long to do this because we had to get the skydiving lessons and like Pristini, and he's jumping out of a plane, and I'm like, yo, that's lit.
No, John. If you look at my screen, look at the little bubbles come out of the Mutineers logo, and it comes. It looks like it was edited in like paint, dude. Come on, no way. Oh, there's more water. I didn't even watch it this far. I have
Yeah,
to
me
watch
either.
this,
That was
dude.
so bad.
Look at this, dude. I'm full screen of this. This is awful. That doesn't look real at
And
all.
it was tough because everyone knew what team.
Oh my. Bro.
Everyone knew what the team was, and everyone was screaming, and they had to like list out all the names and blah blah blah. And then after they released this really shitty video, everyone had to be like, "Congrats!" Like they didn't know. And then in private, everybody you talked to was like, "What the fuck was that? That's the worst video I've ever seen."
Well, I'm gonna throw him a retweet anyways, just to spread awareness. But like, that was terrible, dude. And the hashtag reminds me of, I don't know if any of you watch The Boys TV show, but there's a guy in there named The Deep, and it just reminds me of that character for some reason. But I talked about this a little bit the other day. They made a mistake by waiting so long, man. They've completely like alienated themselves from the Call of Duty fans because all the teams that came out with their early announcements, like if you're a COD fan, you probably picked a team to support by now, right? Like you picked a team that you're gonna want to support, and them waiting so long, like they just whatever early fans they could have grabbed, they've pretty much just alienated all those guys. So
I
yeah,
guess.
that's the way I look at it.
Maybe if you're a newer team, that's kind of important. But a lot of these guys cultivated fans before. Like Frosty has his fans that are just gonna be there from Halo.
It's different though. The fandom's
He did just
changing to,
win
like,
champs and
city
stuff.
Fans, it's different now. Like I want to be a Florida fan. It's like, fuck, these guys haven't announced their shit. I've been watching Crim every day. Well, looks like I'm an Empire fan now. So I don't know. But either way, it was just a mistake to wait this long.
It was a mistake. But if you're gonna wait that long, you have to come with the heat. That's all I'm gonna say.
That is true.
Did
Then we
not
got this
come.
video. Did you see this video?
It's okay, Florida. Just reveal the
We
roster
go to.
when you're ready.
I did not see this video. What
It's
happened in this
okay,
This is the
video?
worst video I've ever
Just
seen.
reveal the roster
Another
when you're
Mutineers
ready.
one?
I don't know what they were trying to do here.
It's okay, Florida. Just reveal the roster when you're ready.
All right, so in this video, it's a robot like Siri going, "It's okay, Florida. Just reveal the roster when you're ready," and he's just shaking his head like frowning at the video.
Listen, man, Tuger is the GOAT. He didn't take many L's
This
his
is an
gaming
L, dude.
life.
This is an L.
That's an L.
This is an L. What the
That's an
fuck
L.
is
It's
this,
all
dude?
good, man.
What is that? All right. Well, anyways, other than their crappy announcement, I like the team, man. I'm excited to watch those guys play. I think that above all, they built a solid roster. Just took them forever to announce it, man. That's it. That's the only thing I want to talk about.
Good.
All right, but moving on.
They'll improve in the future.
Let's talk about season 1, dude. Have you got a chance to play it?
Yeah, I've been playing a little bit. I mean, let's go with the good first, right? They got rid of the death cam glitch,
Mm-hmm.
and search and destroy, and the mounting glitch, which two things you could easily say just shouldn't have been there to begin
Well,
with.
yeah, but so
And
like
then they
you would
added
think
another
that,
glitch,
yeah,
right?
you would think it'd become playable, and then they added another glitch. So before we go into the rest of like what's in here, SD is shocked. Enemy has bomb, shoots, and shows me where the bomb is. So this is the mini map right here of the map, and
Keep them intact.
when the bomb carrier shoots, it pops on the map, right? So this pretty much makes it unplayable. It's like a straight up UAV, like walking around the map. How the fuck does that happen, right? Like,
I mean, I'm not a game designer, but I have no clue how this stuff happens. And I just don't know how people don't test and find it out. Like when it releases, it gets found out so fast. There's no way
yeah.
they couldn't have found this in the studio. But whatever, we're here now, and it's just another thing for them to fix, and they'll fix it.
Yeah, they'll fix it, man. But it's just like this was supposed to be the fix where I could go play S&D again, right? Like go play wagers once again.
Yeah.
And we are talking about, the guys in Ghost where we had a bomb glitch that lasted over a year and a half. I actually don't know if they ever fixed the bomb glitch. I don't think
They
they
haven't.
ever.
No, the bomb glitch is still a thing to this day. But
Yeah.
Krim says you use the ghost perk to fix it. Which I mean, if you want to call that a fix, you shouldn't have to do any of that to fix something
Yeah.
like that.
I actually didn't know that. Thank you.
Whatever.
But yeah, that just shouldn't be a thing. Like it should not even be a thing. There's been so many glitches this year, man. I feel like this is the most amount of glitches we've ever had from a Call of Duty upon release ever, right? Can you think of a game with more glitches than this? I can't.
Nah, I think that there's just a lot of issues, and it takes away from the main issues of the game,
It
which
does.
is just maps and spawns.
Yeah. How are we
So,
supposed
like
to
all
get to
these
those
things,
when they
yeah,
have to invest so many?
you have to get through all these little
resources?
things first before you can get to those on a competitive level, if that's what they care about. I'm not sure that they do at this point. I mean, they released a statement basically before saying made this game for the noobs, right? And
Yeah.
those people don't give a crap about that ping
Yeah.
glitch.
Yeah.
Right? That's probably why they didn't find it. But there's just a lot that needs to get done before these teams start competing, and I think it's just happening at a slower pace than everyone is used to.
Yeah, and I know a lot of pro teams. Like I was talking to Parasite, was it yesterday? And I was asking him, I was like, dude, it seems like a lot of pro teams aren't playing. You guys are like playing every single day, all day. And he was like, yeah, but it won't matter because like a lot of the pro teams aren't really grinding and they just play against each other. So it was like actually a pretty good point. It feels like some pro teams are waiting for an update that might not come, right? Like they might not fix the spawns like.
I think there's
what people
there's
want.
a decent amount of pro teams that play everything every day, like the tournament's coming up right away.
Yeah.
Like both hardpoint and domination, they grind it out every single day. And then there's some pro teams that only play hardpoint.
Yep.
And then I know there's one pro team in particular who I won't say they haven't played at all.
Yeah, and there's some that
That's another way to
why
go
won't you-
about it.
Why won't you?
I don't know
say
if I
it?
agree with that one. What?
Why won't you say it? The team.
Oh, I believe. Well, I don't want to lie on them because they could easily just not have scrimmed or streamed any scrim. But I don't believe
Oh,
that
okay.
the LA Gorillas have played.
Yeah, I don't think they've
At
played.
all.
Yeah, I don't think
I haven't seen them on
Unless
anyone's
they've been playing,
stream
like,
or
some
whatever.
teams or something.
And then in their defense, maybe they just don't see a reason to play because they figure the spawns are going to change before it matters. The Dom flags are supposed to be changing position. All these things are like, I mean, whatever. That could be hearsay, but I believe that you should probably be putting in some time
You're just gonna
playing.
be behind regardless.
Gonna be behind
if
no
they
matter
change
what.
Stuff or not, right? You're gonna be behind. That being said, though, there is a very long time still until the first matches start to happen. So they have some time, man. Like especially if there is an update like that, which I think there's gotta be. There's gotta be by that time. So hopefully, I mean, they've been coming out with updates like every other week. It feels like now, like big updates with fixing problems. Other problems arise, but they've been at least listening to the community somewhat, fixing some things. But back to season 1, they came out with Crash, Vacant, and Shipment. I don't think Vacant and Shipment are playable yet, which is kind of like a miscommunication from Infinity Ward to the community. Everybody thought that they were going to come out right away, and they're not. It's just Crash. Crash is really fun, though. Have you played it? They changed it.
Yeah, they added doors. Oh.
They added
They added doors and they added a thing to the side blue where you can look over and
dude,
see the third story.
Unreal. There's literally a whole pocket. So when you come down like A domination steps going towards blue, there's like a courtyard that you used to not be able to go in. It was cut off. Now you can go in there and go into a massive heady and just obliterate anybody who goes into like dumpster heady, which was like a previous power spot. Now I don't know if that'll play out good or bad, but
I don't like.
I
I mean, I just don't believe that you take a map that's already created and add something like that. Those things like that
Yeah.
change. They change areas on the map. That's like one of the only power spots in that section for on that side 3-story.
Yeah.
And now it can barely be used because you on this game you'll just die by a headshot immediately.
Yeah.
A guy like it. I don't know. It's whatever.
You can't.
Maybe they thought it would play out better.
It is
Maybe
good
it
that
will.
we have Crash now, though, because if we are playing Dom, like we know Crash is a pretty viable Dom map. But
that's
have some
with
concerns.
that's with COD 4 spawns.
Yeah, with COD 4 spawns, and I also have some concerns because like nades used to be like a huge factor. Like you'd sit back out with a nade, like save the flag, save the point.
Yeah.
And now you also can't cap B Dom from inside the planes. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Oh, I didn't know
You can't
that.
go
That
inside
changes
the
it a
planes
lot.
on the side and cap it. So you're just gonna have to throw a smoke, a trophy, and hop it, and hopefully get it. And top 3 is going to be so OP because of sound horning and trophies now. You can't lob nades up there. You can't run up on them because you can hear them. Like,
I was talking
man.
about that with certain people. Imagine breaking top 3 in this game when
Oh,
you can't Kobe anyone like you used to be in the past. Like basically the only way is to headshot them from deep.
Mm-hmm.
Probably be the easiest way to do it in this game, but holy crap, getting somebody off that's like smart and like getting like a stationary Mox type player off top 3 when he barely peeks you and he has a trophy down would be and he hears you coming up.
Yeah.
That sounds obnoxious.
Imagine a spawn trap with like 5 people on Crash Dom, like a BC setup. You have guys in back alley, guys in blue, and guys on ramp, or like even camping fridge corner, and you can't nade them out of those spots because they have like trophies and EOD. Imagine that setup now. It'd be unbreakable, man.
It would be, but these new games make it where they just spawn you out anyway, so you're never actually in trap anymore, which is probably like why in general people don't think domination is super competitive. Because I swear, back in the day, back when you played COD 4, nobody complained about domination because you could trap people. Like if you had control of the map and everyone was alive, they would be spawning in a certain area, and like you just said, you'd spawn kill them. But nowadays, they'll just spawn like in random spots, back 3, and like all over the map, and cause chaos.
You could influence spawns. Like if you pushed up on A point on or A Dom on Crash, and like you looked in the building, or if you were all over there, you'd spawn back alley.
Yeah, but you knew they'd spawn there.
Yeah,
it wouldn't spawn like random.
But it gave them like an opportunity though, to like jump across and start to go to C. It was like made sense, right? Like it just made sense. But 5 people would change that regardless, right? Either way, though, at least we have a cool looking map that is nostalgic. That we know is good, like decent, and it'll be all right. So that could just be game 3 every series for Dom, which might work. What do you think about Vacant for like search coming back 5v5?
I don't think that Vacant was ever that good of a map.
It was all right, man. I kind of
and with too many people running around, I think it makes it probably worse. So hectic, and you got to take into account these new games. Like, you can't nade people in the buildings. Not really. Like people, you know what I mean? Like people are if they decide to fix Battle Hardened. I don't know if you played, but Battle Hardened doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just get completely fast. But if they do decide to fix it, and it actually works all the time, it's gonna be hard to like actually infiltrate the sites because everyone's gonna have Battle Hardened on, and you won't be able to like flash or stun your way into the buildings.
Yeah.
A lot of the maps that were made back then were for a game where the shots were different. Like it's a lot harder to shoot in the old games than it is to shoot in these games. Like it's just so much easier.
I mean, there's so many headies on COD 4 maps, like
exactly.
And in this game, it'd be so difficult. Like it's so easier to shoot now than it was way back in the day. And
right, so you can't like hold down a spot the same.
Yeah. But moving on, they added some gunfight maps. I mean, I played them; they're fun. Then they added some modes. I don't even know what Reinforce is. Do you? I have no idea.
No, I don't really care if it's not competitive
it's not competitive.
stuff. No.
I usually don't care. But chat, you want to tell me what Reinforce is? Is that like a 6v6 mode or pub mode or like what is it? Because these two bottom ones are obviously infected and gunfighter is irrelevant. But other than that, yeah, I think people were like happy with like the cosmetics and stuff that came out with this. Dom flags with no lives. What?
Sounds ridiculous.
It's a mix of S&D and Dom. What?
Uh, why would I care about the flags if I don't respawn?
What were a lot of people mad about with the season one? Was it just the lack of
Well,
transparency?
it's lack of
I think
transparency.
that's what it was.
With in terms of competitive, like they didn't do anything to fix the game competitively.
Yeah, that's
So like
well,
they thought there was gonna be like this change to spawns or like footsteps,
well, I
and
thought
none
that
of
with
that
every update.
and none of
Yeah.
that happened. But that's what they thought, like, because at first they thought there was like the big overhaul, which was another miscommunication. But
Yeah.
in general, it was just they have a whole bunch of stuff in the works, but none of it was for the competitive scene
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
So that's why they're upset.
All right. Well,
Like,
I mean, I would say season one personally is underwhelming because obviously I'm a competitive player. I'm a competitive fan, and it didn't do much for competitive. So hopefully they can do better. And send
and
out some
I mean,
updates soon.
honestly, saying like free content drop makes it sound like it's amazing, but they're just putting in old maps. So
Yeah.
it's
Maps are 12 years
not
old.
as impressive as it sounds, right?
Yeah. It's cool though. I mean, they never done anything like this before though, like dropping a bunch of free shit like this. So
Oh yeah.
it's a step in the right direction. I cut them some slack there. I just wish they would have communicated it better. I really thought we were gonna get all three of those maps right away. Thought we were gonna have all of them. I thought we were gonna have everything that was shown here right away, but we didn't. Anyways, moving on. Give us the stamp update soon, please. But there's been some talk last week. We missed it because we didn't do the Codcast on it because of Thanksgiving. But the Mutex situation. I see your eyes are closed. You knew where I was. You knew what I was going up.
I mean,
That's tragic, man. What happened to that guy? He made a big mistake. And I know a lot of people wanted us to, do a surprise podcast about it. We were going to. Remember I texted you?
yeah,
I was like,
we
let's
were
talk about
thinking about it.
But now that it's been a week and, some time to digress and let everything settle in, I feel like no pity for the guy at all. Like, I mean, like the way he reacted after, getting actually released was just like, it was pathetic, man. Like,
It was. I've thoughts about it. One fact. He should not say what he said ever.
ever.
What he said was just stupid. But here's another fact. He was saying that to his friend.
Yeah, it's true.
Like they were just having a friendly conversation with one another.
Friendly.
They were. Whether or not, like, come on, you talk to your friend a certain way, you're allowed to. Honestly, most people are like way more harsh with words with their friends than they are with other people because both people know that it's joking and the other person will give
That's
it back
true.
to them. They just
I
didn't know
knew
they're on
that.
stream. But you still shouldn't say what he said. Second, for sure, what you said is true. He reacted like a absolute
I think
idiot.
how he reacted was worse than what he actually did, right?
Me
Like,
too. Also,
behind
I
closed
think,
doors, people say some crazy shit.
of
Like, we
course,
all know that, right? Like, you've all said some crazy shit behind closed
no
doors.
one's perfect, and like those weirdos that jumped on his head that act like they're saints are like they are just complete oddballs. Like they've never said anything.
If he were to, come back after that and be like, you know what, I said some fucked up shit. I accidentally went live. Like, I know I shouldn't have said it, and I understand my punishment is getting released by Empire, but I'm sorry for what I said, and I won't do that again. I think a lot of people would have like forgiven him and been like,
I
yeah,
legitimately think that after it happened, if he never made any of those fake crying videos, which they were
yeah,
fake, I don't
fake
care
as
what that kid
shit.
says, they were fake as
as
hell.
shit.
Shut up. You made a mistake and your stream was live on accident. You're fake crying. If you didn't do any of that and he was just like, yeah, that was my bad, and just moved on from there, like I don't think I don't think anything would have happened. Period. He made it a bigger thing than it was.
Oh yeah, he did.
Because that stuff happens all the time. Like people say things or something comes up and people are like, ha, and then they move on with their life. But he made it a thing. He decided to like escalate it and be like, I think I'm ruining my blah blah blah, and make it a thing where everyone was talking about it, and it really gave Hastro no choice.
Yeah, it gave him no choice. It
Gave him literally no choice. He had to
it
do
was
it.
too much bad PR. He was just being a nuisance at that point. He's like being Antonio Brown, dude. He's just like giving them such bad press. It would not and having not even close to the amount of skill that he has. So like, it's like, why do we have this guy on our team? Like, he's a substitute. He's not very good, and he's just being like a diva on social media. Like, he did himself no favors with how he reacted, and now nobody will ever pick him up again. Nobody
Right,
will
but
ever
here's the thing,
take
though,
a
what you
chance
said,
on him
though,
once
too.
ever.
All right, so one, he was a substitute. What if that happened to like, what if Seth said that. Nah, let me not say Seth because Seth will get pissed at
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Even a
Just
hypothetical.
I was literally about to say she's a different name.
Yeah. What if shit? What if Krim said that? Okay. What if
Okay.
Krim said that? Would he be off the team?
Yes, he would.
I really don't think so.
Yeah, I think
I
he would.
really don't think
However,
so.
I think Twitter would react and be like laughing at what Krim said. So I think people would
Why?
be like LMAO. I think they would like laugh at it. I don't know.
Krim would
I feel like
Krim would be
people.
on the team 100%.
No, Empire would have to release him if he did that, dude. They'd
Nice
have
try.
to. They'd have to, man.
Nice try. No, they wouldn't. Maybe
Think about
now. Maybe now after the fact that they've already released someone else. But he would 100% be on the team. Because first of all,
Chat, what do you guys think?
Krim wouldn't release any of those goddamn videos. That would never happen.
Yeah.
Krim would
But
be like,
if
oh,
they did it.
I fucked up. And then he would just move on with his life.
If he reacted the same non-apology, it would be tough to keep him in the lineup without suspension. Yeah, he might have gotten suspended.
Okay. Suspension, fine, 100%. Well, first of all, suspension. The league the shit hasn't even started yet. So fine, they'd fine him. He'd be like, "This is bullshit," and then he'd pay the fine, and then it'd be fine. He'd move on. He would not be off the team. So
They've
there's a line
invested
there
too
where
much
it's
money
like,
into him to release him, but like,
I mean,
Mutex?
if he got released, they would just have to get a new player. They wouldn't have to pay him anymore
man,
because he would probably reach some sort of contract.
he's too valuable, man. I don't know.
Exactly,
You're
but
right.
that's not how it works.
It's such a crazy.
That shouldn't be how it works. At least if that's why you're getting him off the team, it shouldn't be because he's so valuable.
Well,
It
Mutex
should be
didn't
because
get
you're getting him off the
released
team for
until
moral
he made
reasons.
his reaction video, right?
What's up?
Mutex didn't get actually officially released until he made his like reaction video after the fact, right?
He made a reaction video.
Yeah,
and then was like, I think I'm gonna get released. And then like a few days later, actually got released. And then he was like, you know what, Empire, suck my dick.
Yeah, he said Empire.
Or like somebody suck my huge fucking cock.
He went,
And
suck
all
my
this
huge
stuff.
fucking cock.
I'm the best, and
I'm
no
the
one's
best.
like me in the world. I'm like, all right, dog.
Yeah, like you're tripping, man. First of
Yeah,
all, what's wrong
you're
with you?
absolutely
And then, by the way, 2 days after that, well, all right. So one day after it got released, he was crying and he was apologizing to Empire. Then the next day he goes, "Fuck you guys, suck my fucking huge cock. You're never gonna find anybody like me." And then 2 days later, he was hosting a charity stream, apologizing, like
Right, yeah,
donating his own money. Like, come on, man, you're not helping anybody here.
And it got to the point where as soon as he's off the team, it just felt like you were just doing that to get viewers, because that stuff does work.
Right, it does.
And in your heat, you can get viewers and free subs, and it's just like, all right, that's fine. I mean, do what you got to do at that point to make money with your life. I'm not judging you for that. Go for it. But also, here's another thing. What is the statute of limitations on saying dumb shit? Like, if
Yeah.
somebody wants to ruin you, could they just go back in your Twitter to like 2013 when you said anything dumb? Like you just called someone the wrong person a bitch or something, and you're just in trouble now? Like, how far does this like
I think
quote
the
unquote
community-
cancel
I think the
culture extend back
community-
to?
the community
point where it's
dictates
like-
this. We've seen this in like pop culture and like actors and famous people like for the last few years, right? Like people coming back. Like remember the whole Kevin Hart thing? You're supposed to host was it the Grammys or whatever?
Also the Oscars.
Oh, the Oscars, and it was like an old tweet, and then if they said he had apologized, he could host it, and he was like, "Fuck that, I'm not apologizing," right? Or something like that. Like we've seen this happen often, right? In gaming, we haven't seen it as much. But yeah, I'm wondering where that threshold is, where it's like, how disrespectful can it be to where it's like, okay, you can come back?
Is it how disrespectful you were? Or is it how long ago you were super disrespectful? Or is it who you are? Like if I'm the biggest name in Call of Duty, and
You
I'm
can come
kind of
back
and
from
I'm
it if
super
you're like
disrespectful,
that.
do you even have to come back, or do I just play it fine and I just keep going?
Yeah,
Like
that's
they haven't
true, man.
drawn any of these lines out, and it's gotten to the point where I honestly don't even want to be in a lot of calls if I know a stream's on.
Yeah, me either. Because you could say like
Because it's this
the
weird
wrong
culture
thing,
where
it
you
can
can't
get
even
taken
joke
out of-
around with people, or somebody takes it out of context.
You can get taken out of context, and like, usually when those things get put out, it's like you've been talking to somebody for like 5-10 minutes, right? And then it's a 30-second clip of something, right? And it can be taken a completely different way. So yeah, no, I feel you on that for sure, especially with like, bigger, companies, bigger sponsors and stuff like that. Now having an eye on Call of Duty with it franchising, it's, these players have to really be smarter about the way that they're talking to each other and talking on stream, because in Call of Duty, players stream like everything that they do. Like they're streaming their scrims. Like you get angry at the wrong guy in a scrim and you say the wrong thing, it could potentially end your career. So.
Me personally, I could never, ever scrim on stream.
Never.
Because I say things I 100% don't mean about people that are probably like my best friends in the scene.
Yeah,
but
like,
I'm like talking about their mothers when I'm playing. Like
you fat bald
fucking
idiot. I'll say crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And
yeah, like
it could just get taken out of context, man. People just think of you in a different light, and I think we'll see that more and more as time goes on. So, PSA, dude, just be careful, right? Be careful. But as far as the old tweet thing goes, I don't know how far back can you go. Like, is it just
I mean,
whenever?
there's no possible way to clean up all your tweets unless you just delete everything from the past. But I mean, you grow up as a person, right? In general, you grow up and you make better decisions as you get older. Well, most people do make
Man,
better decisions as they get older, especially when it comes to public face. But I mean, someone could probably go back to every single player's Twitters, every single personality's Twitters. Can you imagine the stuff that someone like Maven has said in the past with
yeah.
Maven's past?
Oh
Like he's
yeah.
probably said some absolutely ridiculous shit. That doesn't mean he shouldn't be casting or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Dude, imagine if they found Game Battles forums from '07. Me, you, like Nade Shot, all those people typing on those forums. The things we used to say were just crazy. It's just different back then. We would all be without jobs. But
Also, Ben, he brings this up. He says that plus not really apologizing didn't help. I don't believe any of those apologies, by the way. He's not sorry for what he said.
of course
Sorry that he
not.
got. You're sorry that you accidentally turned your stream on and
And
people heard
nobody's
it.
ever sorry when they make those
No one's ever
apologies, man.
sorry for
It's
any of
not
those
true.
canned statements. Those apologies are complete, utter bullshit.
Do
They're
people
just there
watch
to save
that?
face.
Do people just watch those and be like, ah, finally he's owning up to it. I can
Yeah,
go to bed at night
I
now.
I,
Like,
I
no,
never got that.
you
I'm
like it
really
does
sorry
nothing for
about
me.
what I blah blah blah.
I
I'm
didn't mean to say
apologizing to
that
my
to
fans.
him.
I
Like,
gotta be a role model. And then as soon as that shit's off, they go back to saying the same exact crap they were saying anyways. It's
yeah,
just
except
like
like their stream is they're like, yo, nobody's
yeah,
streaming
their
right, nobody's
stream's
streaming right,
off, the
nobody's
cameras
live.
are off, whatever it is off, and they
Yeah,
could just be themselves. Which is not even necessarily being a bad person. It's just being the unfiltered version of yourself that you're not sorry about.
I mean, you are your true self when no one's watching. You know, that's the old saying, and it's very true, man. But like, when you stream, you gotta be careful. There could be people watching, man. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a call and I'd be like, I double check make sure my OBS isn't open. You know what I mean? But
Absolutely.
I'm curious your guys' take on this in the chat, guys, because you guys are obviously the community, a small blip of the community. But like, where's that threshold? Like, you think if he didn't like react the way he did, that he could have been forgiven and stayed on the team? Like, what would you guys have? How would you have handled it? I'm curious to see what people think in the chat.
Yeah, me too. Because personally, I mean, I understand why Hatcher dropped him after all that
I
stuff
would
he
have
said.
dropped him. I would
I would have
have
dropped him too,
for sure.
hundred
And I
percent.
would have dropped him before he did that shit as well, because he's not valuable enough to be on the team and be a liability like that. He could do some shit like that in the future, so I would have dropped his ass straight up,
I
point
think
blank,
well,
period. But
as
if
soon
it
as
was
that
Scrim
happened,
Six or
as soon as
Scump
that
or
happened, people were
somebody
pulling
else,
up old tweets of him saying stuff that was way
yeah,
worse
he
than
becomes
that.
a liability. So I
And
would
then
have
after
dropped
that,
his
it's
ass.
like you just get rid of him.
If it was Scump or Krim or Formor or any of the super big names, like, maybe give him a suspension so we can like let people know that this is not okay. But like, I would have obviously kept him on the team.
And okay,
Um,
so in response, people would say, "What? So the rules are different for different people?" And I think in life in general, the answer is always yes.
it's always yes, and the reason
The
is
answer is
dude, this is my.
absolutely yes.
If I'm talking if I'm owning a team. First of all, this is my fucking team, right? So I decide who's on my team, and I don't want this person representing my team because of something that they did, right? They're not valuable enough to get away with that. I mean, that's just how it is. That's how life is. So I would have dropped them, right? If you obviously bring something else to the table and you can obviously pay that price, pay that fine, pay that suspension, and come back and we'll work with you to learn your lesson, yeah. But I'm not going to invest those tools and that money into somebody that I know isn't helping us enough to even deserve it.
I mean, according to him, he's the only person that can run S&D like he runs S&D somehow.
And remember, guys,
So
we're kind of going in on him right now, but like,
I'm
I don't even care that the
honestly,
video that he came out with, it doesn't even piss me off. I'm just saying, like, from the perspective of like a team owner, why they reacted the way they did, like that's pretty much why that went down. They're not gonna say that, but that's how that went down.
I mean, you just got to know that once you're getting paid and you're getting like you become a salaried member of a team, of a franchise, of any type of organization, you're just looked at differently.
Hundred
And
percent, dude.
if you're in any type of role where you're, I want to say expendable. I'm not gonna say that all subs are expendable, but in a sense you are. Like I can get another sub, I can get another guy to like
100%.
show some S&D strats. You really got to be careful what you do because you're easily
100%.
replaceable. The harder you are to replace in life, the more reckless or the more you can get away with. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter
it's
what
just
you
facts,
are,
man.
or
We see it every
whatever
day.
you do, you can just you can get away with
Think
stuff.
about all that
That's
stuff.
just the way the world works
Think about all
because
the
you're
stuff.
irreplaceable. Your talent is
OBJ
irreplaceable.
gets away with
Something
it.
about it
AB,
is
all
irreplaceable.
these guys. Like AB got away with so much stuff and still ended up on the Patriots again. Like, obviously, he clowned himself out now, but like you can get away with stuff when you're super talented, right? People will work with you, they'll invest in you. So you have to have like you have to even be more on point when you're on like the come up, so to speak. When you're like a substitute like that, you just have to be on point. And when you're on a franchise team, you represent more than like just the players next to you, right? Like, you're representing them, you're representing the franchise, you're representing the CDL, you're representing Dallas, your city, right? You're representing all of their fans as well. So like, you have to get rid of them. You have to. But let me go back to the chat and see what they were saying, how they would have reacted. I would have dropped them with franchising, trying to introduce new people to COD, and having something like that come up before an official match is awful. Well, it's
Okay.
better it came up before a match though.
Well, okay, but so with that logic, would you have dropped Krim from your team if he said the same thing?
Can't.
Same logic, right? It's the same logic would apply. But I know you wouldn't drop Krim from your team. You'd be lying if you said so. So I don't think that logic extends. Like, it's just, I don't know. I legitimately think that if he didn't make those other videos, he'd still be on the team. Like the videos before, like
You think
before
so?
he got
I
dropped.
think he was getting dropped regardless.
I legitimately think so.
I think he was
Brought too
getting
much
dropped
negative
regardless.
attention to it.
Did they get another sub yet? 'Cause they
I have
need
no
a
idea.
seventh
If
man.
they haven't announced yet.
Did you see Krim and Zuma's banter? I was howling. No, I have not. We actually have another topic to go into. We're kind of beating dead horse
Yeah,
here, but
go ahead.
there was a lot for us to talk about. Let me try to load up this banter real quick to see what this guy's talking about.
Banter?
I don't know. Zuma and Krim are friends, so I don't.
Whatever they said wasn't serious.
Oh yeah, this wasn't serious. Okay, moving on. So there was a controversial list that got dropped on the timeline last night. Shout out to our friends over at Dexerto, but sometimes, dude,
Controversial.
just
This list is
downright
ass.
dumb list. These guys, they make a lot of articles, dude. They've been, dubbed the clickbait news station, TMZ, paparazzi, if you will, whatever you want to call it. And they've, done some pieces on me that have pissed me off, right? I've had talks with people at Dexerto. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, take this shit down. This is completely wrong, right? They'll take stuff out of context sometimes, but it's all in good fun usually. And I think kind of this one is just hilarious. They released a preseason power rankings, right? So we'll just go down the list real quick. If you want to read it, I'm going to link it in the chat for you guys so you can pull it up on another monitor or something. But they had Legion 12, so it starts off like, all right, like Legion's 12, Mutineers is 11, Guerrillas is 10, having, there's no way you could have ever seen a map of them playing yet. And this is like preseason rankings based on people playing. So
This is the thing with power rankings.
Note that.
Power rankings aren't like super subjective. Power rankings are who is the best, who's doing the best at this time.
Yeah.
These power rankings suck.
Yeah, they suck. And
they suck.
Like we didn't do power rankings. We did our projections of the season, right? And the reason we were careful in that, right? We were very careful in how we worded that is because we said on paper, these are the rosters, these are what these teams built. This is what we think is going to play out when the season begins, right? We don't give a fuck about these scrims. I don't give a fuck about if Rocker smokes Huntsman in a goddamn scrim, right? I don't care about that. This is what I thought based on paper. Now they're going off based on what they've seen. So I don't know how the hell the Guerrillas are 10 when they haven't even seen them play. Rocker's number 9, Ultra's number 8, Royal Ravens 7, Surge 6, Phase 5, smoking dust. 4 subliners, 3 Optic, also smoking dust because they've been getting their cheeks clapped. So I don't know how the hell you have them 3rd. 2 Empire, which is downright disrespectful. They're clearly leaps and above the best team right now in scrims, if that's what you're basing your ranks off of. And then number 1, they have the Huntsman. Are you fucking kidding me? This is like, come on, man. Like, how is this your rankings, right? And
who wrote it?
Let's see. Yeah, we gotta fry this guy, dude. We gotta fry. Who wrote this?
What guy
By
out
Jacob Hale, dude. Can I click
So
his
Jacob
profile?
Hale is a guy that is clearly trying to be loved by the Optic fan
Articles
and
by
the Optic
Jacob
fan
Hale.
base.
Twitch streamer
This-
literally eats a huge fly for no
So
reason.
like I'm not even sure who edits these Dexerto articles or whatever the hell it is, but that is shitty journalism. Like
Yeah,
horrible.
this is
Like Jacob Hale, that is horrible journalism. Straight up. I don't care. Shitty journalism. One, you should never do power rankings based off scrims. That's like going to a football practice to Hard Knocks and judging the teams before anything ever happens. That's just stupid. They haven't played. They haven't played anything that matters yet. But two,
I take almost absolutely nothing from these scrims. Like obviously I think Empire will be a solid team because they're just shitting on everybody. But
of
like
course,
other than that, dude, I take nothing from these scrims. They're not even in their facilities yet, scrimming next to each other. Most of these teams.
if you're gonna use the scrims, at least try your best to not be a super biased dumbass and put Dallas Empire first. Like if anyone's making a power ranking currently based off scrims and S&D, Dallas Empire is clearly first. They're winning all the S&D tournaments. They're beating everyone in
They're
scrims,
first.
and then Atlanta is the clear second. They're also beating everyone other than
Did you
Dallas Empire.
see
I don't understand
Astro's
what the hell that
reaction?
was doing. Astro's reaction, now that we've been through that fact of how bad this list was,
Yeah.
Astro's reaction was so stupid.
You think so?
Yes, I do.
Why did he
I
get so
do.
mad, man?
He got so mad
It's so
because
funny.
it's been years of it, right? It's been years of like optic talk, blah 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 blah,
Um,
and then finally he has a team he feels like right now is the best team in the game, and it's still this, and it's still the like
what did he say?
they're not optic anymore, but you get what I'm saying. The
What did he
optic
say?
people,
They own Optic Intel. Was
They own a
like
part of
Dexerto Intel, right? So
Yeah, they own a part of
it. Yeah. So I think it's annoyed him over the last few years that since Dexerto is like partnered with Optic, that they kind of like favor Optic in articles and stuff that they make, but they're like the biggest names in the community, so like you kind of have to cover them. So it is weird, but I do get where that bias comes from, right? I understand why Hastro should be frustrated by that, because I used to get frustrated by that, and other pros as well. Like they are,
well,
attached to them. They're attached to that name and those players, and they've had that bias for a while. And I don't think he's completely in the wrong with what he said. I just think he maybe shouldn't have been tweeting it to like formal. He tweeted formal. He goes, "Not that upset, but even you can't justify this after getting dumpstered by our team in scrims so many times already. They're just scrims." But what else do you rate teams off at this point? Love you, man, but let's be
all right,
real.
so yeah, part of that is true. What else do you rate teams off at this point? And Dallas Empire should be first. Facts. But this is the owner of your franchise who just kicked a player off his team for acting stupid, and he's roasting. He's talking down about a freaking article. Who cares? What? Imagine like Mark Cuban coming out and talking shit about some article that some random guy who you never even heard of wrote.
Yeah.
Like at least it should be like a big time article, a big deal. Like it should be on ESPN or something.
Are we starting
Not
our
some
segment?
random.
Are we starting our new segment, Clown of the Week segment?
It's gotta be. We should start it.
We're starting it. Okay, guys. So, I don't know why your face is so... Let me go back to the double cam. So, we're starting a new segment, guys. All right. I don't know if you're familiar with, like, the Breakfast Club or whatever. Charlamagne does a segment where it's called Donkey of the Day. We're going to bring that to Call of Duty now. We're going to have Clown of the Week, dude. Clown of the Week. And I'm sorry, man. My boy Stro, I love you to death, dude. But you got to be Clown of the Week for these tweets, dude. The weekly clown is as Hastro this week for sure. Last week it would have been Mutex, and now this week it's Hastro. So like they're on a 2 streak.
He shouldn't get this. Yeah, he shouldn't get. You shouldn't get this upset over this, especially a one that. So here's the thing too, the whole community is telling them how bad the list is.
Yeah.
You don't need to, as a guy who runs one of the franchises, you don't need to come out of your chair off the throne and getting this mad. Like the community's doing it for you. Don't have to do it. That's
in, man. He was sitting the keyboard warrior, bro. Trigger fingers turned to Twitter fingers.
Yeah, he went off.
He was going
that was
off. Look at this
completely
thread.
unnecessary.
I haven't even read this. They were going in on each other, dude. Oh,
like,
man.
oh, Dexerto Mike did clap back.
Oh, he did.
He did clap back. You got to show that.
Yeah.
You got to show that.
Yeah, man.
He didn't take it lightly. His clapback was good.
He said, "Mate, what 70% figure are you on about? Hector has never even told us what to write. Literally never. We wrote about Optic, and stats were about 20% after they just won champs, and we only covered COD at that time. What else would we report on? You've absolutely lost your head, by the way, taking an opinion piece by a writer where you're ranked second and projecting your own insecurities of never being as popular as Hector. Get a grip." Whoa. And Astro goes,
that's
first
bars.
Of all, that kind of went kind of far. Yeah, this guy's going hard. So Astro's clearly pissed right now. Like I'd be pretty mad if I was him. He goes, "That's not what is at play here, Mike. I'm defending our organization. I'm very happy where I am at and don't have those insecurities. This is about integrity, which you guys are still seemingly trying to discover. You got absolutely nothing to back this up. You're just making shit up, and quite honestly, it's really sad to see. Dude, Mike was clapping back, dude.
They're going. There's a big Twitter war. You can just basically go
Yeah,
read.
I'm gonna link it in here. I'm not
And
gonna read the whole thing, but
yeah,
you could see they were firing off.
and it's.
Hey,
I
yo, they
mean,
ended
I
with
mean,
them trying to
I
make
mean,
amends. It's cool.
of course they do because that's public face. That's what grown-ups do.
Yeah.
They say public face, but Mike's pissed. Hastro's pissed. Thirdo Mike, they're not friends right now. You're not gonna see any happy
Oh,
Dallas
absolutely
Empire
not.
articles till they win. I mean, it's just like he shouldn't. He just shouldn't have gone off on that tangent. Like, of course,
Yeah.
Dexerto Mike's gonna defend his writer. He's gonna defend his staff. He's gonna defend the article. But
I mean, and realistically, that's kind of what you want, right? Like,
I guess,
that's what you want is a list to, start that type of drama up. Hastro coming in and saying that obviously isn't good for them, but at the end of the day, dude, more people click that article now, so all you did was like spread more
of course,
awareness.
and Ben in the chat makes a good point. These guys are about their clicks. You're not gonna get clicks making boring stuff, saying boring stuff.
Yeah.
Like you have to go out there and get something that people want to
Hell, people
read.
are saying fire that writer. Like Mike's probably sitting there like, dude, you need to write more articles like this. Like,
I mean, you're not. I mean, the writer, in my opinion, is absolutely horrible. But
yeah,
that writer did accomplish the goal of the website, and that's to get people to click the article and talk about it. But
yeah.
you can say the guy's terrible, just like how people say Skip Bayless is an idiot. He's terrible. Everything he says is stupid.
People will tune in to
But
listen to
people
him
tune in
talk.
and watch that stupid guy talk.
Yep.
So you can call him an idiot if you want, but it's accomplishing a goal.
Yeah.
So two sides to every story, and
All right, so I
it
mean,
is
the
what it
weekly
is.
clown has got to be Mike Rufeo,
But it
Hastro,
is definitely.
longtime friend of both of us, man.
I love
Sorry,
Mike.
my brother, but you can wipe the paint off now and move forward. It's all good. It's all good. See who's gonna one up you next week. But all right, so that's pretty much covered most of the topics for this week. There was another announcement that happened. What was it? Today, actually, or yesterday? Yesterday night, Surge announced Teddy Rex. They picked him up to their team as analyst and S&D specialist. He will serve as an integral part of our coaching staff. So he's not a sub, I guess. He's a coach.
I guarantee you they picked him up as a sub and put him on their roster as a
Why'd they
sub
word it like that?
because he's never gonna play. So they probably picked him up as a sub, and then they're gonna use him as an analyst,
So they
kind of like how
just cut
Mutex
some
was a
cost.
sub. Mutex was a sub, but you pick him up as an S&D analyst and whatever. I mean,
Let's cut some costs
Teddy
there. I
Rex has
like
been
it.
in the search community for a very long
Yeah,
time.
yes.
So
He's
if
good.
as long as the players have respect for him, search and destroy, I mean, it could work.
You see those guys on that team having respect for Teddy Rex? Sorry,
No,
Karma, Slacked.
no,
Yeah,
not really.
yeah,
No,
I don't think so.
no, I
I
don't.
feel like that's probably one of the harder teams to coach, and they already have a pretty good coach. So I don't really know where Teddy Rex is going to come in and be able to help too much. But he is a decent player. He's been playing for years. Never able to quite crack through like that top 8 area. But good luck to him, man.
What do you
Kind
think
of
the
a
hardest
weird
team to
announcement.
coach would be?
Oh man, probably the subliners.
Subliners?
Them
Why?
or
Why?
I don't know, man. For me personally, I just maybe not. Let me think for a second. The reason I said subliners right away is just because like I'm friends with them and I'm too good of friends with them, or I think it might be like an issue. Like I think they're like the type of friends where I can't like I don't know. I don't think they respect my opinion coming in sometimes. Like between Donnie and Zuma and Lamar, and there's a lot of egos on that team, and I think that it'd be difficult to come in there and sort of make an impact. Um,
Oh, I think it'd be easier for me to coach a team with people that I know, so I could just like come in and just talk to them
yeah, people
normally.
that I know is good, but like just not those guys. Like they
Gotta
have
say,
too many egos for me
a
to
lot of people are
deal with
saying
them.
OG LA. LA OG by far. Definitely Optic LA. Slasher
I
ego
don't think
through
so
the
at all.
roof.
Slasher's pretty easy to work with, man. It's like you can
I don't
talk
think
to him.
so either.
He's a
I
normal
don't think.
person. Normal,
Yeah.
easy to talk to.
Uh,
J Cap's there, easy to talk to. Honestly, oh man, we're talking about personally, right?
yeah, just the hardest team. Maybe like you just don't know them at all. There could be a lot of reasons for why it'd be the hardest team for you.
Man, Atlanta phase, possibly.
Atlanta
I think
phase.
I've never had like a one-on-one talk with anyone on that team.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, maybe that's a
Oh,
good
for
one.
sure, dude. Never mind. Gorillas for sure. 100%. Number one. Hardest team to coach. 100%. Me and Aches don't see eye to eye.
I knew it was gonna be about Pat.
100%. Me and Aches don't see eye to eye. This would be so difficult. I think I could be like a coach with Aches. Like if me and Pat were like working together on something, like we were side by side working together, and it wasn't playing the game, like, and I wasn't telling him what to do. He wasn't telling me what to do. We were just working together as like a coaching staff. We'd be very good. But that would not work. I could not do that. Him, Saints, like Lace. Oh my god, I'd get on every day with a migraine. Oh man, that would be like the Yuli as well. Aqua. Oh my god, dude, I'm getting a headache just thinking about those team discussions. Unbelievable. Are their coaches
Yeah,
announced yet? Because I know
fine.
they are, right?
Huh?
Both their
For
coaches
who?
are announced yet. I know their coaches are, but are
For
they announced yet for Gorillas? Did
yeah,
they announce it?
they tweet about Bevels and Rick all the time.
Bevels and Rick. Okay, so like
Yeah,
they have two like pushover coaches, so
they
that's
trust
easy for
Bevels
them.
though too. Even though I mean Pat and Bevels have a complicated history, right? They won champs,
That is
and
a
then
toxic squad, dude.
they won champs, and then the next year they lost every single match. I mean, it is what it is.
Dude, coaching Nato
Uh,
is impossible. By the way,
I wouldn't know.
impossible.
Well, that sounds like a tough
What
job.
about you?
Wait, why is coaching Nato impossible?
Because he doesn't listen. He's his attitude changes day to day. He'll literally get on one day and be happy as hell. He'll go hard and call out like it's champs, and then the next day he'll get on and he just won't try at all.
All I
And he'll
know
be like,
is
"What happened?" And it'll be like the dumbest thing. Like he'll literally have like a bad breakfast and like take it out on
I watched
scrims.
there's a few things that not about Nato that bug me. One, guy's trying to do this thing with his fucking chin all the time, like this fucking strong chin thing that he does all the time with the duck lips. And then two, at tournaments, when he should be focused on winning, this guy showing up to my stage. This guy showed up to my stage with other people's designer scarves on while I'm trying to win a match.
I can't believe that.
Last year at Vegas, he showed up playing for top six in winners with a fucking Gucci scarf on.
No,
That
Louis
wasn't
scarf.
it.
He
A
bought
Louis scarf.
Scraps' Louis
I couldn't
Vuitton
believe
scarf
it.
off his neck.
I
Off
could not
Scraps'
believe
neck.
it.
He bought it.
I'm like,
And
what are
paid
you?
an upcharge.
I'm like, what are you fucking doing?
Nato also had $1,000 Movado watch and sold it to Spacely. Well, he traded it for Yeezys that were like a fourth of the price. I'm clowning Nato, but man, dude, come on, dude. Here's the steps Nato to improve as a human being, right? Get on with the same mentality every day for scrims, right? Stop caring about this drip shit. It's not working out.
In the middle, listen, if you want to care
In the
about your
middle.
drip or whatever,
Yeah, in
that's
the
fine.
middle of
But in the
matches and
middle
shit.
of matches and tournaments, come on, son.
Come on, man. Come on, man. 3. All right. Like, stop taking duck face selfies, man. Right? Like,
Yeah,
if
just
I'm
in
on
general.
stage and I'm about to play somebody, I'm gonna pull up a photo of him. I'm gonna go, listen. There's zero chance he was this guy. He just took this picture 30 minutes ago. I'm gonna show it left and right, and we're gonna shit on him. That's just how it's gonna go down, dude. Like, Dylan won an event borrowing Trey's jacket. Yeah,
Yeah, that event was a fluke though too.
yeah.
I'm
There's
gonna
no
bring that
crowd,
up.
dude. It's different.
Yeah, it's way different.
Thank you, Blast, for the sub. We'll take some questions now, by the way, guys. So
Yeah,
we can
ask
recover every
questions.
topic.
For me, the hardest team to coach would probably. It's weird. I don't want to shit on them as a team because I feel like all they've gotten is bad love. But it'd just be Paris because I don't really know any of those guys. And for me personally, with my personality, it would be hard for me to work with a bunch of people that I probably
Might
never
consider you an
talked to.
asshole.
Yeah, they might consider me an asshole just from the way that I talk. Like I'm pretty straightforward about things. In general, if you suck or if you sucked at doing something, I'll just say you sucked at it. or or if you're great, I'll say you're great. But I'm pretty straightforward and with people that don't know me, they can take it the wrong way.
Who
So
is
it'd
the
probably just be
worst
them.
top pro? I agree with you. You are not everybody's taste, John. You're really
No.
not, dude. Like you
Wait.
have to.
If
I
you're
feel like-
everyone's taste, you're doing something wrong.
I agree.
If
And
everyone
there are
likes
some people
you,
like that. Wait,
well, who the
wait,
fuck
wait,
are
wait,
you?
wait,
If
wait.
everyone likes you,
No.
if
Wait,
everyone
wait.
likes you,
That's true.
you're a
However,
douchebag.
there are some people that are like that get away with it, man. They get away with it, and they're successful. I know some people that are like that. They're very
The only-
successful, and you know what I'm talking about. There's
the
people like
only
that.
people that everyone
them
actively
personally.
likes that I know that deserve to be actually liked by everyone are Cole Cook.
Oh yeah,
Whatever.
for sure.
Cole Cook is the nicest human being in the world, and like you just wouldn't even know who the fuck he is by the way he carries himself. Great guy. Who else? Everyone likes and replays Crowder.
Yeah.
Crowder's put so many people on, and like if he doesn't like you, he just tells you to your face. Like he's not fake about anything. Those are like the only two guys I can think of that everyone likes that should be everyone
Man,
likes.
it's
I know
gotta
everyone
be.
doesn't like me.
Oh,
Everyone
me
doesn't like
too.
you.
Yeah,
Everyone doesn't
yeah,
like whoever, and that's fucking perfectly fine.
yeah. I mean, I am who I
You are who you
it's
are.
gotta be exhausting trying to please everyone, man. Especially in like the esports industry. There's a lot of fakeness in this industry, dude. I'll tell you guys that. I've been in this shit for a long time, and trying to please everybody, dude, you will become exhausted. And you'll end up just pissing more people off. So I realized early on in my career, like, I'm just be myself, dude. And if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. It's a better way to go about things, in my opinion. But yeah, so to your point, yeah, it would be tough to coach that team because they don't know your personality. You might come off
Exactly.
as an asshole. But we
Uh,
also take it to like the extreme too. Like we're kind of like we'll say shit just to piss people off sometimes, which
I
is
mean,
like
I
you
just
know what
like
I
to
mean.
see.
Like
I like
there's
to
a
test people.
spectrum.
I like
There's a
to test people's
spectrum.
softness.
Yeah,
And like if somebody like says something back to me, it's just funny, and I'll just keep going. If someone like gets butthurt, and I just will stop completely.
but
And I
we
just,
also like,
that's what I'm
and
saying.
you're at fault because I do the same thing. Like I give my opinion on like every topic, and so do you. Like we don't have to do that.
No, I don't.
but
That's like even on little
but
things like a
yeah,
bunch of
same.
people that love Marvel movies could be in a room talking about them, and I'll just walk by and I'll be like, "Movie is fucking garbage," and I just walk, and I just keep. I was like, "What garbage?" And I'll just keep going. They'll be having the time of their life. Look at me like, "What the?"
Dude, isn't it like
No one
a
even asked
way?
you.
Isn't it such a more satisfying way to live though? Like just speaking out, like just giving your opinion. As long as you're not crossing the line, like so sad. It's like, what? That's what you think? What the hell? Like, I just think it's such a way better way to live life. Well, let's look at some of the
Take some
questions.
questions. Yeah.
Who is the worst top pro of all time?
The worst top pro of all time. What
What
does
the
top
hell?
pro even mean?
Yeah,
By definition, if they're a top pro, it's kind of hard to call them
probably
bad.
Theory, right? He won 2 events in a row. He was pretty cheap,
He got some.
but
He
he
got a bunch
wasn't
of
bad.
seconds. He
Yeah,
wasn't that bad. Nah, there's
the worst
um.
ever. That's a bad title, dude. I don't.
That's a
I'm not
tough.
giving that to anyone.
The worst top pro is a bad title. One because you're talking about people that we all know about, which
Yeah.
like there's a bunch of people who can't even get to their level. Kind of just disrespectful. I don't even know if I want to answer that. Plus, you're just like hoping I say Nate Shot because Nate Shot was ass.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with Nate Shot.
That's
Actually,
a good
I'm
answer.
gonna answer the question. Nate Shot. Nate Shot was so bad. Like
He was pretty cheeks,
he
dude.
was so
I'm
bad.
not
He had
gonna
like a
lie.
good month in Ghosts, but in general, he was horrible. And in AW, when he won all those tournaments, you literally could have put like a handicapped child on that team with formal
Was
Seth
Nate
and
better than Doug? Was he better than Censor?
no.
Nah, Doug was better.
Doug won with Doug won with like more pieced together teams. He won with Pat in AW. He couldn't have. Like, there's no chance Pat and Nate are on the same team and they win a chip in AW.
I guess it does have to be Nate Shot. I don't know. There might be others. That one comes to mind. Most hated pro.
Uh,
I don't know. Shouldn't you guys
of all
answer that?
time?
Shouldn't they
Yeah,
answer
yeah.
that?
Most hated pro of all time, like probably Haggy.
Well,
Probably Haggy.
well,
But Haggy in his heyday did a lot to deserve a lot of the hate from people. In general, I don't think most pros hate other pros. I don't even hate Haggy.
no, no.
Just maybe Clay. By other pros.
Aches. I don't think
By,
people hate Aches, dude. I think. Oh, maybe other pros. Yeah.
yeah, I'm saying like other pros maybe hate these guys, not the community.
Is there anybody that pros dislike on a grand scale? I don't
Diego
think
said
so.
Slasher. That's just your least favorite pro. uh,
Yeah, people love Clay. Other pros, I don't think people hate. Dude, hate is a very strong word.
yeah.
I think he just gets in disagreements with a lot of other players.
Wait, why would people hate Clay? I'm saying other pros could hate Clay.
Oh,
I mean, a lot happens behind the scenes that you can't talk about that some people just don't. And I'm not saying Clay is hated by a bunch of people. I'm just saying, in
there's
terms
been
of you,
times where
there's been
it's been
times where
him versus the
people,
people kind of thing.
yeah.
Most potential in a time of. Wait, what? Most potential in a time of all time that dude. What the fuck are you saying?
All right, that doesn't make any sense. Who's your top 5 players list in this game? I don't have one. That's not a good question.
Yo, you
You gotta
guys
you
are
gotta you
coming
gotta
with some
specify your question.
trash questions right now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. What are you guys doing, dude?
Most potential in a team of all time.
Oh,
Best team on paper, either Atlanta or LA Optic.
yeah, for sure. We already answered that in the previous episode. most potential in a team of all time. I think I kind of get what he's saying. Like the team that like had potential to be like the best dynasty. It's probably the Optic
That
team, and they were.
I mean, I guess that,
Best
or
player
maybe
being held
maybe
back.
maybe he means best potential on a team that wasn't successful, like that
What
just
team
didn't make
offer do
it.
you regret not taking in the past? Um,
I got offered to join the original Optic a long time ago, and I just said no because I thought the idea of all that content and stuff was stupid.
yeah, I was part of that. I was a part of that in like MW2, yeah, and I was like part of that Optic team making videos, and I was just like, fuck this, YouTube. I was like, YouTube, what? Screw you guys. I'm gonna play GBs.
I fumbled the bag before I even knew there was a bag to be fumbled. Literally
Um, I've said
dropped it on the
no.
50-yard line.
I regret like when I was on EG, like I had an opportunity to join Envy and or IW, and I didn't like push the envelope enough to try to actually join that team. I should have like convinced EG to trade me. I
First event
also
is coming
dropped.
up.
I
Go ahead.
dropped Scump before the first event in Black Ops One. I dropped him and Bob for Liar and Mainstream.
All right, the first event is coming up in the next month. Do you have any advice for the teams that aren't scrimming or just aren't enjoying the game?
Play.
Um, well, for the pro teams, your job.
Yeah, get on
Like
and play. You
you
get
are
paid a
getting
lot.
paid a lot of money to get on the game and play it. You can't force people to enjoy the game. But as your job, you need to get on and play. Like
You have to. There's
like
no if ands or
there's a
buts.
bunch of
You
teams that
gotta
don't
want to
enjoy
play.
it. Probably most teams don't enjoy it, but they're still playing. Like
These
for the
orgs
LA
need to step
Gorillas or
into these
whatever,
teams, by the way.
they have to play.
Yeah.
You have to play. Like there's no excuse for not playing. And honestly, for the longevity of your career, you want to be on a team that's good. Plain and simple. There's just so many kids that are coming up nowadays, and with a limited number of teams, you could quickly go from being a starter to a sub. That could affect your pockets. That could affect your career. Get on and play and make your team as good as possible.
Also, we're not the only people talking about like gorillas and these teams who haven't been playing that much, right? Like people are starting to talk about it. And what happens if you come out and you just start getting destroyed, right? And then the coaching staff and the org looks at you and goes, "Wait, these guys weren't even playing. We're paying them this much." Like, it's just important to play and just to have like no excuse, right? Like if you play and you're not very good, just keep working on it and getting better, right? Like, so like there's just no reason for people to bash you at all. Like, just get on and fucking play. It's your job. You get paid way too much money to not be playing. Um, and I personally think that orgs need to step in and make sure these guys are playing, right? Like these franchises need to step in and put fines on them if not even on time. Even if they're 30 minutes late for a scrim, there should be fines. In my opinion, I think they're just getting paid too much for it to not be like a set schedule, set plan of what we want to do each week. And you're honestly, these franchises put too much money into let their teams like have this much control. Like they should be on point, monitored scrimming.
Absolutely. Um,
Let's go.
any chance the pros play CTF instead of Dom? Well, that's impossible. F's not in the game, so probably not. Probably not playing CTF. I'm around.
What are your
Probably not.
guys' thoughts on Farrell's position? I honestly feel kind of bad for Farrell. I know he said some, pretty messed up things in the past, but he's apologized a few times for it now, and he was a lot younger, man. It was like 4 years ago, wasn't it? 3 years ago, actually.
He was like 16, and
He's grown up.
I mean, when
He's
I
really
was
advised.
16, I knew not to say certain things.
We're gonna get an argument here on this one, man. He's 16.
I
He's in the toxic community. The times are also different.
Oh, the times were not different in 2014 or whatever the hell that
The
was,
way people
2016.
talked online
Whoa!
was different. It
Whoa!
was. The
Whoa!
way people
Whoa!
talked
Whoa!
about-
Whoa! Whoa!
Okay, you might have taken that in the
You
wrong
are
way.
not being serious right now.
The way we
If you
talked
want
to
him
each
to play,
other
if you want him to be
online
able to play,
was different.
that's one thing. But to say the times were different
The
3 years
SME community
ago,
was way
that
more
is
toxic.
such bullshit.
Dude,
What?
we used to roast the hell out of each other in like 2013, 2014, 100%.
That was
But
2016,
obviously-
and I don't care if you roast people. I roast people today. What he said
Okay,
was
that-
inexcusable.
I agree. But
Inexcusable.
he also like apologized multiple times for it. He got on a major organization and he was performing at events. He was getting top 2 events. He was handling himself properly, right? Like he wasn't saying anything crazy in interviews. Like he handled himself in the right way. I thought throughout the whole season that he was playing. I thought he
believe
was
that Pharaoh.
fine.
I definitely believe that Pharaoh should be allowed to be in the league. 100%. That's what I do say that. But let's not talk like he shouldn't have said that, and he should have known not to say that, and he shouldn't, and he was in a community there where people said that.
I just think he
He was
should be
not.
forgiven by now.
He was not. People do not go off on
Like,
crazy
is
like
he
that.
just excommunicated forever now because of that
I mean,
mistake he made?
that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying earlier. Is there a statute of limitations on dumb shit that you've said?
And he was 16, bro. He's not. He wasn't 18.
I don't. I hate that excuse. Like, if a 16-year-old walks up to me and says what he said to me, I'm gonna backhand him across the face in front of his mom. Literally, like,
Yeah.
like what? You're
I
16
hear
years
you,
old.
man.
You are fully capable. You're allowed to drive. You can have a job. You're fully capable. Your brain is forming. You know what you can and cannot say. He
I
just
just
was
think he's
online
paid.
and
I
never
think he's
thought this
paid the
was,
price. I
and
think he's paid the
he
price
never
for it.
thought that this would be a thing. Like,
He's paid the price though, man. Like if he wasn't punished like already for it, I'd say so. But like,
what price did he pay before?
I mean, I'm pretty sure he
Pay
wasn't able to get on certain teams for a while because of what he did.
what? That's cap.
And then
He never paid any price for it, but now he's paying a really big price for it,
he
which
played
is like,
in the COD World League when this was like a known thing, and he was.
right. The franchising world is different.
It's crazy.
I mean, I still, like I said before, I do think that he should be able to play. And I also said that I don't think like someone that made a mistake like Mutex made should be kicked off the team. I just understand why they're not playing what they did, and like I understand it.
All
Is
right,
what it
let's
is.
take
I don't
another
think that
question.
anything. I don't think that anything really in gaming at this point deserves like a full-on, lifelong ban, except for cheating. You cheat once ever, you get banned. Other than that, it's like,
We've seen people get banned for cheating. That Fortnite kid. Yeah, people are saying he like shouldn't have got banned for like as long as he did.
they should be banned for
He
life.
should be banned for life. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, it's like, are you gonna compare like messing up a while ago to cheating? I don't think you should.
I think we're gonna wrap up the show though, man. I think that's it. We're a little bit over an hour. This is a good episode, man. We didn't have one last week, but we're back on point now, dude. Best talk show on Call of Duty is back
Oh,
in business.
absolutely.
Talk your shit. I'm gonna talk my shit. Best talk
Not
show
even,
on Call of Duty.
not even close.
Let's go, man.
If
We're
you
gonna
don't
be
like
back
it,
next week.
kick rocks.
Kick rocks. You don't like the show? Kick boulders, actually. No, I'm messing with you guys. I appreciate you guys coming out. If you didn't get to catch the whole thing, it'll be on YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify tomorrow. Make sure you check that out. And next week, we are going to have a special guest. And more than likely, that guest will be Zuma, right? So he said he'll come on after scrims. So it might be at a different time, but Zuma will be the guest next week. So I appreciate your guys' support. It's been amazing. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.